Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's Local Chat, episode 225 for the 225th anniversary of this show. Joining me all the way back from the Japans, it's Ian Gibson.
God, you know, I kept saying the Japans in my head because we watched Shogun and that, and what do they keep calling him? Anjin, because it's pilot in Japanese.
Yeah.
Oh, that show's so great.
Anjin.
Jake, have you seen Shogun yet?
No, but Hazel and I did, or I'm rewatching Blue Eye Samurai, and she's watching it for the first time. Another
I don't know what that is.
show set in Japan.
Oh,
Blue Eye
that-
Samurai?
Shogun's very good.
Is that an Aryan samurai?
No,
World War II.
no. So
It's
it's
about-
about the
it's about the
samurai.
Axis.
It's when white people weren't allowed in Japan, and so this samurai had
What was
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Her dad's a white guy, and she wants
Ew.
revenge for being spawned from a white guy. It's a great show.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyways, I highly recommend Shogun. It lives up to the hype. It's very, very good.
It is very, very good.
Yeah. Back from Japan. We spent another 2 weeks in Japan. It was funny when we were there. I did the math a little bit and I was like, we were here 5 months ago. And so far in the last 6 months, we have spent a total of 1 month in Japan. And I'm like, that may be a little bit too much. We probably should wait a little bit until our next trip. We still had a lot of fun, but it was probably like 10% less exciting just because it was like, oh, we're back here again. It's still a fantastic place. So yeah, this time we did a week in Osaka, which we basically missed Osaka last time because of the flight issues. But we did Osaka. We did a bunch of day trips out of Osaka to like Himeji and Kobe and Nara. All these places basically within like a 90-minute train ride of Osaka. So that was great. And then we did a week in Tokyo. And I won't go too much into details, but I was talking with one of Maggie's cousins about this. And it's like Tokyo and Osaka feels like a slightly more authentic Japan because there's less foreigners and there's less like foreigner specific areas. Like they still exist, but if you go to Tokyo, like you're just constantly surrounded, at least there's always some percentage of foreigners around you, right? As opposed to like native Japanese people. And then you will always, there's just a higher density of, I don't want to call them like super touristy areas because it's not like it's just touristy things. It's not like Disney World where it's just completely fake, but there is definitely like, we went to Shibuya again this trip and I was just like, hey, we need to go there at night and walk around and that's it. And it's because it was like completely packed with foreigners and there's like 3 Starbucks, and it's just like all lit up, but in a bad way. It's kind of like turned into Times Square basically, where you're like, we have to go to Times Square, but we just have to walk through it. I feel like that's a fair representation of Times Square.
Yeah, and there's always foreigners I hate at Times Square for sure.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, whereas Osaka has a lot less of that. It's easier to get away from that. You can still go to Dotonbori and basically get that same like surrounded by foreigners experience. But one of the days in Osaka, the rest of the group went to the Osaka World Expo. And I knew I had looked up reviews of it earlier and everybody was like, hey, this is a fucking shit show. Where like long story short, it's basically like the World's Fair. So each country has like a pavilion building that they build to show off stuff. And I'm like, I've always wanted to go to a World's Fair. Sounds awesome. And I looked it up and people were like, everything's overbooked. Most of the pavilions require like a month in advance reservation. The other ones you have to wait in line for 2 hours. Everything's stupid expensive and crowded. And also it's heat index of 105 with like 99% humidity. So like people were like, buy a stool and bring lots of water and an umbrella and all this stuff. And I was like, hey, are you guys going to do this? And they were like, yeah, we're going to do it. And I was like, are you sure? And they're like, we're going to do it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go do this other thing for the rest of the day. And then I'm going to show up at 5 p.m. and do the thing in a blitz in like 3 hours. So anyways, on that day, this is wrapping back to my point. I took a train ride 30 minutes east into, it was on the outskirts of Osaka, but it was still in the city. And it was like it was a neighborhood kind of like Hoboken. If you've ever been to Hoboken, where it's like you still have dense streets in a way, but it's a lot of like 2-story, 3-story residential buildings, and there's some stores and little parks and things. And I stepped off that train and I walked around that neighborhood for an hour before I saw one other foreigner. Like, it was just Japanese people, and it was all locals riding their bikes. And I walked like 10 minutes to go to these thrift stores that were much bigger and nicer and cheaper than all the other thrift stores in the city. And it was really nice to have that experience. So, you know, not going through the whole trip, but just Osaka to Tokyo, they're both worth it. There's both a lot of stuff you can see there. But if you want to get away from a lot of the foreigner heavy stuff, definitely make sure to hit, at least I would say, spend some time outside of Tokyo. Osaka's a great place to be like, I want the Japanese city experience with a little bit less of the foreigner tourist overload. So yeah, that was kind of where we went on the trip. Got lots of gachapon.
Ooh.
That's my weakness. So Maggie's weakness is Daiso and dollar stores, because there's a lot of dollar stores over there, which are 100 yen stores. Yeah, 100 yen stores, which is like 70 cents right now. So she would go into these, but it's like, it's so much better quality than our dollar stores. So like she literally bought like 70 items across the course of this trip from all these different dollar stores.
Not to interrupt, but has someone made a dollar store that everything is always tracked to the current price of $1? So nothing there actually costs $1. You can only use other currencies there, but the currencies are all tracked in what the dollar is worth.
That sounds like a great idea.
I feel like you make a lot of... put that in an airport when people all have leftover money. It'd be perfect.
They also had they had this chain called 3 Coins, which was 300 yen, which I guess our equivalent is like coins? Five Below. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, that's her weakness. My weakness is gachapon, which are the capsule machines. You pay anywhere between 300 to 500 yen, which is like $2 to $3, depending on what you want. And I was a little discerning, but you see them everywhere. They have so much good stuff, but I probably got about 10 or 12 of them. I was getting a lot of they have little like cat and animal statues that fit perfectly on top of a monitor. Like, one of them is a cat fully prone with a sniper rifle.
Charlie,
and then another one I got is like an otter on its back sleeping, and its legs and tail are like hanging down to like grip the monitor. So I got a bunch of stuff. I think my favorite gachapon though was this little guy right here.
Whoa.
Which is, it's Dr. Yellow, which is a train, but it's also a watch. If you see on the inside there,
you gotta go center more.
I'm trying to, but my wrist doesn't turn that way.
Well, turn around then.
Oh, sorry, because of the cropping. Anyways, yeah, it's one of the Shinkansen trains that they love, called Dr. Yellow. You guys ever heard of? I guess I could do this. You guys ever heard of Dr. Yellow? I'm struggling to like turn my wrist on camera.
Take it off.
Fuck you. I was worried it would be a child's watch, and I think it is kind of a child's watch, but thankfully there are fat children and skinny men such as myself, because it just barely fits me. So, Will, you're gonna love this. So I kept seeing this thing about Dr. Yellow, which is a yellow bullet train, but it was like Dr. Yellow, all this merchandise and stuff, and I was like,
what the fuck is Dr.
And I look it up. Dr. Yellow is a diagnostic bullet train that rides the rails a couple times each month, and it has sensors on it to detect like the rails and check it and make sure everything's okay. And it's because it has such a fan following that they have all this merchandise like gachapon.
What color is the train?
Dr. Yellow watch. It's blue.
Oh wow. That's crazy.
The best thing about this watch was we were in Nikko and just doing a day trip up in the mountains, and I stopped at a train station and I was buying water, and this old lady that was in her 60s was like, I was like doing the transaction with her, and she looks at the shirt and she looks at the watch and she goes, "Oh, Dr. Yellow." And I was like, yeah. And then I flipped it open and she was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Gachapon." She goes, "You're lucky." And I was like, "Yeah,
you're lucky."
And Maggie was so surprised. She was like, can't believe she recognized your stupid fucking watch. I was like, hell yeah, she did.
She said this guy's taking a lot of time. Sorry, paracetamol.
But bringing it back to video games, though, you guys are familiar with Akihabara, the big like video game anime district in Tokyo. It lives up to the hype. I'll say that. Last time I went there for about 4 hours, and I felt a little rushed because of the schedule, and I was trying to get a PS Vita, and I did end up getting a PS Vita. This time I did. Sorry, I'm just realizing I forgot some props that I was going to bring. I was going to show off some of the stuff that I got. But I went to Akihabara, and I was there for like 6.5 hours, just going in and out. And to be clear, Akihabara is like, it's probably like 10 square blocks, probably less than that. It's not that big, but it's densely packed. Like you literally come out of one store, you walk down and you look to your left and you're like, oh, there's another store I want to go into. And just going in and out. And this time it was great because I had things that I knew I wanted to look for. As opposed to just in general, I'm going to look at everything. So Maggie really likes Spy Family, the anime. So she wanted some merch there. So I was able to find her some merch. I got her like this figurine doll that we knew was like $60 in the United States. We found it for like $30 at a used place, but it's Japanese used, which means they literally keep all of the packaging. Yeah, nothing inside, just the outside. No, but like they keep all their packaging and everything. So when you're buying something used, you can only tell that it's used because it says used on it, basically. Like it's in the original box and everything. And just walking around the neighborhood, you know, again, it's $60 in the US. I found it for $30 at the start of the day, and I ended up finding it for, I think I found it for like $14 at the end of the day.
Hell yeah.
Like it was just finding all these deals, you know, going in and out of these stores. I bought a couple of video games for myself, but something that really helped was like having specific people or specific things I was looking for. So for people, I did get all the Subpixel Boys some gifts. I'm not going to reveal those gifts yet. I'll wait until the next time we're together. Wow. But I did get you guys some gifts, which I think are pretty cool. And then the other thing I was looking for was mostly for you, Will. So you wanted a new Nintendo 3DS XL.
It's true.
Which I'm not ashamed to admit, it took me about 2 or 3 days to realize and remember that in Japan it's not the XL, it's the LL. Because I kept seeing all these LLs, and I was like, I think that's an XL. Why does it say LL? But long story short, you were willing to pay $100 for a new Nintendo 3DS XL. The cheapest I found one was, I think, like $180.
Oh,
most of them were like $200-$300.
That's wild.
It was a lot. You have, there was some stuff I found that like blew me away with how much they were trying to sell it for. Like for example, I have the Zelda 3DS XL, new 3DS XL, and I saw that for like $400.
Damn.
I was like, holy shit, like I'm just sitting on that. You have an Animal Crossing 3DS, right? Isn't that the one you have? No, you have the Yoshi one.
I have the Yoshi 3DS. I have the Animal Crossing Switch.
Yeah, so the Yoshi 3DS, I think I saw for $400. I think I saw $400.
Damn.
I think I saw the Animal Crossing Switch for $600.
Damn.
Like, granted, these are inflated prices. Like, if you went and sold it to them, you would probably get a half to 2/3 of that. But still, like,
yeah.
I was sitting there, like, thinking through my video game collection. I was like, I think I'm sitting on at least a couple $1,000s at current market prices for some of this shit.
That's crazy.
If that's the price in Japan, like it's got to be even higher in the US.
I have my entire 3DS box too. Should sell it.
Mm-hmm.
I bought that at PAX East used for like, well, I want to say like probably 180, maybe something like that, in like 2014.
Oh, but it was still newer then. Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't think the XL, I don't think the new 3DS had come out yet.
Gotcha. It's definitely prices in Japan. Video game prices are not as great as everybody claimed they used to be, and that's not to say they're lying. It's just to say that I think Akihabara and Japan in general has kind of caught up with some of this used stuff to be like, oh, there's a bunch of foreigners coming in, we can hike the prices.
Yeah, and I bet like if you were in some rural town that had a video game store or some like a specific place that was
It's
selling
cheaper,
it,
yes.
because when you
Yeah.
like people's comparison is checking Japanese eBay, but Japanese eBay can be anywhere in the country, so you could find a price somewhere else. So yeah, that makes sense, especially in
Exactly.
Akihabara.
And a perfect example. So when I talked about that neighborhood I was in earlier, I deliberately went there because they had some thrift stores with video games and technology and things. And at that thrift store, I found an in-box copy of Mario Kart 64 for 1,100 yen, which is a little over $7. So I got that. I was like, awesome. This is going to be one of my favorite games. I'll put it up as like wall art. Great. Literally that same day, I went to another store in the center of Osaka, and it was 4,000 yen. It was 4 times as much. So you really do got to shop around. Now
So you
that
bought
being
that
said,
one
4,000
and returned
yen.
the other one.
I did. I was like, I should pay more for it. But that being said, that's still at 4,000 yen. That's 26. That's like almost $27 for an inbox copy of Mario Kart 64. So even when you're getting the highest price one, it's still better than the US prices. So yeah, it was great. There was an interesting thing that happened in Akihabara though, which is I don't know if you guys were always the same way, but I kind of always been told that Japanese don't play PC games. Like until recently, they just never really cared about PC games. Was that kind of your guys' understanding as well?
I have never heard this. I had not thought about it.
Yeah, the only thing I've heard about the Japanese folks, let me do my type 5 on the Japans. No, is that they is like 3DS and Vita and stuff like that, like handheld consoles.
Super popular, yeah.
Were still super popular in Japan when they were fading out in the rest of the country. But yeah, I never heard about PC.
Yeah, and it's most of the game stores don't carry PC games. But there's a lot of like anime stores and things where I would go in the anime store just to see what they had. And they'd be like, hey, there's 9 floors, right? And it would be like floor 1 is like Shonen Jump shit. Floor 2 is, like character figures. Floor 3 is manga, whatever. And then it would be like floor 9, restricted, 18 years old and only. It would be like DVDs, Blu-rays, PC games. And I would be like, I like PC games. And so I would go up to this floor and I would go to the PC game section. And at least in one of the stores I went to, the PC game section was like, Japanese copies of Battlefield 2, Baldur's Gate, Boy Pussy 7. Like it was just like, turns out all the porn games are on PC in Japan. So all these
awesome.
like porn anime shops have a PC game section. And when you go there, it's just a fuckload of porn games, new and used. And I was sitting there, I was thinking about it, and I was talking to Maggie about it. And I was like, it makes perfect sense because porn is more out in the open there and more accepted. And they love video games. So of course they're going to have porn games, but you can't put that shit on a console. They're going to reject it, right? Like it can't go on Nintendo, can't go on Xbox, can't go on Sony. So where's it going to go? It's going to go on the PC. So like, this is complete bullshit numbers here, but I feel like 95% of the PC game market in Japan is just porn games because I kept going to this PC game section of these anime shops and only one of them had non-porn PC games. The rest of the shops, it was just a giant PC game section and every single one of them was porn PC games. So Japan loves their PC games. I didn't get any. I was thinking about getting a Japanese copy of Battlefield 2, but it didn't look different enough. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It really was. I kept having to go into. There was one store
having to hide your boner.
where a little bit. I was like, well, that was the thing was I go to the second floor and it's like a 30 by 30 foot
all
floor.
been to the second floor.
And it's like 3-4 aisles, right? And like one of the aisles is PC games, and of course I have to go down the PC game section because I'm like, they may have some cool Japanese PC games that are not porn, but that means I have to look at all the sections and it's just porn. Yeah. And then I turn to the next aisle and it's like DVD porn. And then I turn to the next aisle and it's just Blu-ray porn. And then it's just like magazine porn. again, 30 by 30 foot floor, and there was at least 12 other dudes up there. So I'm like having to be like, oh, sumimasen, let me squeeze by you to look at this other section of porn. And everybody's like, and they had it. This makes so much
really
sense.
big coats in front of them.
This makes so much sense when you think about it for like the DVD Blu-ray section. It was semi-alphabetical, but I believe it was alphabetical by the starring porn star. And so they had little cards sticking out, and it had like their picture and their name. And they were like, this section's for this porn star. And there's all these guys being like, I'm going to pull this one out and look at the back. And I was like, I got to try it at least once. So I pull it out and look at it. And it's just like full-blown porn. You know, it's still censored, but it's like the bare minimum censorship. And I look at it, I'm like, yeah, this is full-blown porn.
That's a penis.
It's just so wild, because I would never go to a shop like that in the US because it would just be skeezy as fuck, you know? But in Japan, it's literally just like, hey, here's a huge anime store. It's like 9 floors, and the top 2 floors are porn. Have at it, boys, you know?
It's always embarrassing to walk through the PC games aisle when you're trying to get to porn. Just like, no, I hope no one sees me in the PC games aisle.
Yeah. Could you imagine? I should tell you, if you ever go to Japan, though, I should tell you that store, because they actually had like a really good select. They probably had 100 non-porn PC games in like the older, bigger boxes and everything. So it was like, games? I in PC games, yeah, and PP games. No, but I literally told Maggie, I was like, Will loves old PC games and old PC game boxes, and they had a really good selection. Just to kind of round it out, though, I do have a confession to make, which actually, sorry, before the confession, looking for specific things made all these trips to these stores much better. And so like looking for your new 3DS XL, like gave me a purpose to find something. There's also something else that I was looking for the whole time, and luckily I found it for you, Will. It's a game that you've been trying to buy. I did find you a copy of Alundra for the PlayStation, which was pretty cheap.
Ooh.
Yeah. I know you love Alundra, so I got you that game. It took me forever to find it, but I got it for you.
Specifically Alundra. The first game is the one
Alundra
I love. Yep.
The first game.
Yep.
That's the one you want, right?
Yep, for sure. That's the one I love.
Did you want the second one?
It's
Alundra 2?
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing I also found Alundra 2.
I could tell you were leading towards somewhere.
God, I know it's the prop I miss. So like literally it was actually really enjoyable going into a store and being like, I need to find this game. And I had to teach myself how it is spelled in Japanese in hiragana. So that way, as I was going through the shelf, because the PlayStation section was typically alphabetical, but there's like PlayStation section is huge in all these stores. I was able to find it, and I kept finding so many fucking copies of Alundra 1.
I'm telling you,
like every store had 1 or 2 copies of Alundra 1. I could not find a copy of Alundra 2, and it was making me so upset. And then literally the day before we left, this random store that I went into had a PlayStation section, and I was like, oh, let me just check and see. And they were the only ones that had it out of like 30 stores that I checked. And so you've got a copy of Alundra 1 and Alundra 2. Alundra 1, I think, was like $6 or $7.
Hell yeah.
And Alundra 2 was $18. And I remember you saying that, wasn't it like $90 that you kept finding Alundra 2 for?
It was pretty expensive on eBay, and did we end up finding a copy at that retro game store and I didn't buy it? Or was it? No, I think it was Metal Gear Solid 1 that we eventually found, but that always goes for super expensive. So yeah, I don't think we found an Alundra 2.
So I'm glad I was finally able to get that for you.
I'm excited. Thank you.
I do have a confession though. They fucking got me.
Uh-oh.
They got me. They fucking got me. The goddamn train perverts got me. I did buy a model train set while I was there. And I'm shoulder deep in the trains now.
What
I'm
scale?
just looking up trains. N scale.
Yeah.
Because N scale is 1/150. It's Japanese trains. I realize I don't give a shit about American trains, but I love Japanese trains. And
yes, same.
and 1/150 is close enough to 1/144, which is what most Gundam models are as well. So I am.
Did you get a Kato
I
kit?
got.
I bet.
I did. It's a Kato. I only know that because I watch YouTube videos now about it.
Welcome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was putting it off, but then I was like, okay, if I were to do it, what scale would I get? And then I quickly found the kit, and it's the Yamanote line, which is a metro line in Tokyo that we rode a lot. And they have these cool little starter kits where you get the controls, you get an oval, a track, and you get four cars to make up the train. And I was looking it up online, and to get it in the US, I would have to pay at least $200, possibly more, depending on shipping and all this other stuff, and if I can find it. And there, I basically got it for $120. And I was like, I know I want this. If I'm ever gonna get it, I should get it in Japan because it's cheaper there. So I ended up buying it. And look, long story short, I'm planning my first model railroad layout. It's going to be a while before it's done, but I'm fucking like 20 inches by 6 feet. I'm like, trying to plan these switches.
Do a door. That's what there's a New Jersey N scale on a door guy who goes around, but he like literally just bought a door because it was like a good size, like cheaper than buying the wood.
That's what a lot of people do. Problem is, I don't want to say I don't have room for a door, but I'd have to move things around and find space for that. Whereas what I'm going to do is I can just barely fit it on. I have like a blue buffet dresser in the front room that we store stuff in. And on it right now is like my bar liquor and like literally just bullshit knickknacks, like an old fan and an IKEA wood hand. And I was like, I can just clear that off. That's 20 by 72 inches. And that's just enough to put a dog bone loop on. And then I can build it. So I'm going for that size for now.
You could, there's a similar, but I mean, you could build it and then put glass on top of it and then have it like you can look down into it. There's someone who does similar
I was thinking about doing that.
In England who does N scale in old suitcases. They build little N scale things. So I'm very excited. I've been planning for years is a tiny little Ghibli town with those 1/150th paper houses and putting those all together. I've just never had the time, or not the time, but it's a lot to commit to a train display and purchasing the stuff.
It is. It's a little expensive. It takes some time to put it together. But for me, the big thing is just the space of it. But I did not expect this to happen. But between really liking Japanese transit systems and enjoying how much they love their trains and idolize their trains and going to train museums, and then like just thinking about this layout, it's like, okay, it's trains, which I like, but even more than that, it's model kits, which I really like. It's dioramas, which I want to get into, but it's also electronics because I'm going to try and automate the entire set and like hook it up to an Arduino. So it'll do like station call outs and train chimes and be automated. So it's like bringing all my current hobbies of like model making, scale models, crafting and electronics and custom wiring and things all together into one thing. Mm-hmm. That's what really got me. So yeah, I'm a little train perv now.
Hell yeah. We should play the PS1 train driving game on stream.
No, I've played honestly, driving a train is
so much fun. It's awesome.
Yeah. So just to round this out, I do want to I don't know if you guys have this, but I've always wanted to go back to Japan because I lived there, for a couple of years when I was a small kid. But I've always wanted to go back, and it was always like, oh, it's too far, oh, it'll be too expensive and all that. I want to be transparent, and I want to talk about how much it cost us, because in my mind at least, it's not that expensive. It's really not. Everybody needs to go to Japan. It's just an incredible country. So we flew from
$50,000 first class.
It was worth it. Because the seats go all the way back. No, so we flew from Jacksonville to Tokyo with a one-stop layover for $935 per person round trip.
That's pretty good.
And those are good prices, but they're not like once in a lifetime prices because I've seen them even cheaper. So especially if you live near a major city like we don't, you can definitely find round trips to Japan for way less than $1,000.
Was the stopover
hotels?
L.A. or San Francisco. I'm trying.
Yeah,
to
we
picture
had
where
a
the flight
short
splits.
layover in Toronto because it was an Air Canada flight.
Okay.
So it was like
Yeah.
Jacksonville to Toronto, Toronto to Tokyo, basically. For hotels, part of this is the yen is weak right now against the dollar. But for hotels, we just did 3-star hotels. They're good hotels, but they're not amazing or anything like that. But they're not capsule hotels. They're totally fine. It averaged out to $150 per night, which is in the middle of the city. Like in the middle of Tokyo, in the middle of Osaka, $150 a night is very good. For the rest of the expenses, which covers everything, that's food, that's transportation, that's metro, that's train tickets, that's souvenirs, that's museum entries and everything. And this is us overspending. Like we literally bought 50 pounds of souvenirs, and at one point we had a $200 Kobe beef dinner. So there were definitely points where we overspent. It still averaged out to. He's just in Japan. It averaged out to $93 per person per day for food, etc., all that stuff. And you could totally get that down. You could totally eat in that city and do trains for like $30 per day per person. You could definitely find cheap food and stuff everywhere. So total, that puts for 2 people a 14-day trip in Japan. And again, we were splurging where we wanted to. It was $6,400 total.
That's not bad.
Totally do it. You could totally do it for like $4,000 if you did not splurge like we did and buy a train set and buy video games and all this other stuff. So if you guys are thinking about going into Japan, you two or anybody listening, just fucking do it. Like the biggest money savings is the flight, but you can just keep an eye on it and get a good flight for cheap. And then once you're over there, it's very cheap and enjoyable. So highly, highly recommend it. Don't put it off any longer. You could even go there for a week. It doesn't have to be 2 weeks. It's just one of those things where that's how much we want to be there. So highly recommend it. Get to Japan.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And welcome back, folks, from the section of the podcast you skipped. We're getting underway now with the show. No, that was great. That sounds awesome. God, there's so much I want to talk to you about, but I can't.
Wow.
Folks, we've been playing video games this week, and it was great that Jake has finished downloading Hades 2 because his internet seems to be better now. I was like, we just started the show, and
Was it
Jake's
sluggish?
camera goes, winks out twice, and it's like 2 pixels, and I'm like, that man did say he was downloading Hades 2 during the podcast.
Oops, I'm on the Ethernet. You'd think it would be able to handle 2 things at once, but
No, not normally.
who among us
Speaking of
can?
handling 2 things at once, Jake Terrio, please tell me about the video games you've been playing. 3 things at once, I should say.
Yeah, well, I definitely wanted to come back and talk about Islanders New Shores because playing it 4K 60 FPS is like playing an entirely different game.
You don't say.
So it's like, it's a good game. I basically, all my issues with it evaporated when I wasn't playing it on the Switch.
Well, it has a different. You were posting screenshots. It almost looks like it has a different art style with how much the graphics are downgraded on the Switch. Is that fair?
Yeah. I mean, I think they're definitely like the visual concessions that are being made to get it on the Switch. Definitely kind of, I don't know. It's not even that it softens the art style because it's more that it just muddies it. Like on the Xbox, the models are like small and soft, but they're pretty detailed. They've got like little windows and there's little like flags and little like bits like topiaries in the little houses. And all that just kind of becomes visual mush on the Switch. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it now. Yeah, I just wanted to come in and talk about the Islanders 2 redemption arc.
Awesome.
But I don't have much more else to say about it other than like I don't think it's a game of the year. But
heard it here first.
It's charming. Then on Ian's recommendation, I have been playing Tower Dominion, which is another delightful little let's build a little thing, except now I have to defend it against these waves and waves of hideous, horrible monsters. It's super simple and super neat, but really, really fun because there's there's so many different like commanders that you can get, and each of them has just something a little bit different, and some of them have like their own like custom weapons that you can only use, or custom buildings that you can only use like when they're the commander. So I feel like I still really haven't explored like a whole lot of it. There's a lot more I need to kind of dive into, but yeah, delightful little tower defense, scratching my tower defense itch, which I've had for years and years and years. And then I downloaded I Am Your Beast on Game Pass from our friends at Strange Scaffold, and I played that for a couple hours today. And
is it good?
I need to get better.
Yeah, what is this game? Because they make a lot of games. So what is this game?
I Am Your Beast is, I guess, the closest, maybe easiest point of comparison is Neon White, where it's like a time trial movement based shooter. But it's got really good art direction, it's got really good music, and it's got like a pretty interesting narrative thread woven through it with great voice performances. But it does, because it gives you like this. What are you laughing
I don't know why he is laughing.
Because Polar Knights came in the chat and said, "I love this show. It is every stage of beard growth." That's such a good chat message.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What was I saying? Oh, because it gives you like a score, like a Sonic game at the end of every level.
Is it?
And
Nice.
so it immediately you're like, wait a minute, I can do better.
I can do better. Number.
I can do better.
I can make number bigger.
I
Ian,
can kill better this time.
What's the game we did the demo of that you like rush through as fast as possible and you're like shooting things?
Mad Jack.
Mad Jack. I feel like I Am Your Beast is like Mad Jack. A little bit.
Gotcha.
But those are all the games I've been playing. I don't have anything else to talk about. Except now I'm looking up Mad Jack.
Wow. Doesn't even want to talk about World War II. Crazy.
Jesus. Can't believe we lost.
Talk about World War II. I was saving it from the Japan discussion.
You didn't want to drop that bomb. Folks, I've been playing some video games this week. I purchased Philip the Hole. And that's not a royal person named Philip the Hole. It's Phil up the Hole.
I gotta be honest, I'm kind of judging you a little bit. Isn't this
I love holes.
The ripoff game of the You Must Dig a Hole?
No, it is not. This is a $1.99 idle game that I don't think is any good. Or very good at all. It's got a lot of components that seem good, but that Wizard Tower game I played earlier this year is a much better idle game, and I would suggest playing that, or idle incremental game. Philip the Hole is still fun. It's definitely worth $1.99, but I didn't like it very much, but I figured I would talk about it because if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to. The other game I've been playing since last week when I streamed with Chris from Save Data, Hollow Knight, in which I did terribly the entire time, and which I fully blame input lag for. Whether or not that's true, I actually do think it's true. I still have to do some testing, but
wait, what was it? Are you playing it on PC?
I'm playing it on the Switch, and it was through my Blackmagic capture card.
Oh, okay.
So
that makes sense. Yeah, that'll give you input lag.
Especially since the next morning I woke up at 8 a.m. and fought the boss and killed him in one shot, which was kind of great. And then I've killed several more bosses since then. But I haven't been back in a few days. That's my problem with Hollow Knight, is like I make a lot of progress, and then I stop playing, and then I just forget to like play again. And I really like Hollow Knight. It's really fun. So I'm going to try to stick with it. I don't think I'm going to dip into Silksong yet, but I am looking more forward to Silksong.
Well, I've been seeing people post their completion times, and it's like, and nobody's stopping before like 70 or 80 hours have elapsed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was seeing like 30, 40 on the completion.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Side note, I'm not fully through it yet, but Pigface, the game I really liked from the last Steam Next Fest, it's kind of like Condemned Criminal Origins a little bit, came out in early access, $8.99 game, and it's awesome. It rips. There was one level at a train station that I had a Magnum with a silencer and a scope, and I just sniped everyone from outside the map and just like walked in and killed a few people. It's really fun. It's got great vibes and just cool atmosphere. It's really neat. I played that on stream last week as well with Philip the Hole as well, if anyone wants to see that. And then finally, I've been playing Baby Steps. We streamed that on Tuesday. Baby Steps is the latest game from Bennett Foddy and the Ape Out person. I specifically mentioned Ape Out only because this game has no music or like no discernible music, which is...
It does.
Okay.
We talked about this when we played the demo. The background chirps and footstep noises is like a dynamic...
Yeah. Okay.
Because it does have a rhythm to it.
Okay. This game has no music and doesn't sound good the entire time you're playing it.
Well, are you expecting, like, I'm picturing the kind of, it's not really a twist, but like the big climax of Ape Out does reveal the score? Are you picturing, like, is it going to show up, or imagining it's going to show up at some point at like a dramatic moment?
No, I more of expected just like music to be playing, or like a soundtrack to be playing in some sense.
To be clear, a soundtrack is playing, but it's not from musical instruments. It's like they are using background sounds, but arranging them in a rhythmic fashion.
Okay, but
it's very subtle, but it is. It does have a soundtrack.
It doesn't mean it sounds good or is good at all.
I just want to be clear. But it does have a soundtrack, though. You just don't like it. It's not like it doesn't have one.
Yeah, but it's like saying it. I know, but it can't be that because you can barely hear it. Is the other thing. It's not loud. It is so in the background, and
it does get louder at points, though. I don't. Because I noticed that during the demo. I noticed when you played as well. There are moments where it's trying to be like revelatory, where I can't tell if it's like when you're hitting certain points and the background noise swells a little bit. I don't think it's super well implemented.
In the 6.5 hours I played, I have not noticed it once being good, in any way.
That's fair.
And I don't feel like I'm insulting it because it doesn't sound like anything. It's not like it's bad music that's playing. It's just like nothing. So anyways, that's my only complaint about Baby Steps. Other than that, it's super fun, very funny, has a lot of penis in it if you're into that or just want to see male nudity.
Did you toggle it back?
Oh, of course I toggled it up. Also, the censor of it is just a tiny little black bar on top of it. It's not like, I thought they would like add pants or something. It's just a really fun climbing game story. I can't tell if I'm good at it or the game's kind of easy because I've been getting through some sections really well and like on the first try where I'm like, holy shit, if I fell, I'd be pretty pissed off. I've only almost broken my controller twice and I've decided to stop playing after that and then come back later. But overall, it's been a fun reveal. There's been some cool like story moments and I'm starting to piece together what I think is happening. And I'm not quite sure if that's what's happening or not, but the humor is really funny. The storytelling's funny. The character is the worst, and I hate him. It went to a point where you like walk into a dark cave, and they're like, "Don't you want a lamp?" He's like, "Oh no, I don't need a lamp. I'm good. I can see in the dark." And then you're just in the dark, and you're like, "Oh my god!" And then you end up getting a lamp, but then you can drop the lamp, and it's not apparent immediately that it will respawn with you, which it eventually does, but I fell this whole distance without the lamp and I went, oh no. And it took like a couple steps and then it like appeared with me, like, and I had to go pick it up and I was like, oh thank god. The other thing it's really neat that we didn't get to discover in the stream, but I discovered as I was going up, the maps connect with themselves in almost like not MC Escher sort of way, but like if you go around one side, you'll eventually come back around to the other side, but not in a way that the map you're on is circular, in a way that it's just like somehow always loading the map sideways of itself. like on top of itself, because it doesn't feel like you're going in a circle. So at one point I was like, oh, how do I get over this wall? I know there's a way to go over that wall. And so I just headed right for a bit, and then I eventually came back around higher up, and I just like sat there for a second. I was like, wait, what? Because I had no idea that's what it was doing. I thought I was just walking like up a path. And so yeah, now noticing like things that curve back in on themselves, or I'll go up one whole way and then appear out at a spot I wasn't thinking I would be at. It is really neat and fun. And they're very good at being like, okay, this is your next big obstacle. Here's like the 2 or 3 ways to get up there. Here's where you could start skipping if you're better at it. Here's where we've made it a little bit easier. And it's not super apparent, but like I would do one way a bunch, and then I would fall weird and stand up and be like, oh wait, I can just tuck up this way around it. And cut around and stuff. So it's been a great podcast game because of the lack of any sort of audio direction at all in the game. I'm just kidding. So it's been fun. I really recommend Baby Steps. Unless I'm just oddly good at it, it's really not that hard. I just have a rhythm with my controller, which my controller, you can't hear it here, but every time I let go of the triggers, it's going, and it's really annoying, so I have to somehow fix this. But it's a great game. I really recommend Baby Steps. Take your baby steps.
Cool.
But bring your Spotify. Bring your Spotify. Ian, did you play any games on your trip?
I did, yeah. So I took my little Retroid Pocket Flip with me and loaded it up with a bunch of games. And the one that kind of stuck for me was Pokemon Unbound, which we've been talking a lot about on PokeWill, and that is it's basically a total conversion mod for Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green, which was the Game Boy Advance ones, and it's actually really, really good. It's basically just a completely different Pokemon game, so it's all fan-made, and you can kind of tell it's fan-made because it's got a little bit edgier humor. And it's not like it has rough edges or anything, but it's got a lot of really nice quality of life stuff in it. Like, it doesn't have the Nintendo polish, but I mean that in a way where the game works and everything, but it doesn't feel like some committee has come through and said, no, we got to smooth all these edges. We got to get rid of anything that's too complicated. We got to pare it down to the bare minimum and do like a full, like polish pass on everything. So it all kind of, becomes like a seamless one video game. I really don't mean that in a negative way. It's just Unbound really feels like a fantastic piece of fan fiction where you're reading it and you can tell it's fan fiction, but at the same time, it's still very, very good, So it's got a lot of really cool maps. It's got a lot of awesome quality of life stuff. It's got like side quests and like a quest tracker. It's really interesting playing it and seeing how much stuff they have shoved into the GBA interface. So like adding a quest log and adding all these different UI elements and things. And it does have some of the stuff we've talked about, Will, where it's like, I know this Pokemon, so therefore, when on the move list, it'll tell you what's effective or not effective against that Pokemon type. It's not perfect because it's trying to shove all this into a GBA interface. So it's not going to give you a whole bunch of information on the screen at once, because literally just the resolution of the screen. But the fact that they put that in there and they have that working just feels really, really awesome. It's almost one of those things where it's like, I know this isn't going to happen, but do you guys remember Sonic Mania and kind of the backstory of Sonic Mania?
I remember it.
Yeah, it was like a fan project at first, was it not?
I can't remember how it got started, but basically it is a non-Sega studio that was allowed to make a Sonic game. And for a lot of people, they ended up making their favorite Sonic game. So it essentially was Sonic fans at a different studio who were able to pitch and get permission to make their own Sonic game. I know this is not going to happen, but I would love for that Pokemon Unbound team to get the same treatment from Game Freak. For Pokemon Nintendo to come to them and say, hey, we'd like you to make a modern 2D top-down Pokemon game. And I'm sure they would kill it, quite frankly, because Unbound plays really well and it's awesome. So if you're a Pokemon fan, you've been through all the Pokemons and you're like, I want more Pokemon, but I want something new, definitely check out Unbound. It's really awesome.
That one had the like difficulty selection and the like puzzle difficulty.
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure
at
if
the
it was a
start, it's
different
just like, are you okay at Pokemon or do you want a real challenge? And I was like, I am okay at Pokemon.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
it seems okay so far. It actually does seem a little bit more challenging than a normal Pokemon game. And the other thing it does, I don't know how I feel about this, but it has an EXP share, but with a cap. So the way the EXP share with the cap works is that they're like, hey, this is the way we recommend it. As you go through the game, you're going to party share your EXP as you're fighting. So all 6 of your Pokemon are sharing the XP from battles, but we're going to cap them at certain levels based on which gym you're going to go to. So for example, before the first gym, they cap it at level 15. So it like prevents you from over leveling your Pokemon. And then you get to the first gym and some of your Pokemon are 15, some of them are 14 or 13. And like most of the Pokemon at that gym are like anywhere between 10 to 15 in the level. So it actually makes it a little bit more challenging because they're making sure you're not over leveling yourself, your team. But also it feels like the enemy composition in the gyms is actually a little bit better. Whereas I feel like in most Pokemon games, 90% of the compositions until you get to the Elite Four are just like, I have 2 of the same Pokemon type. And then you just like, just fuck off, you know? So it actually does feel like a really good Pokemon game, like a really good modern Pokemon game. Like where literally the only limitation is the GBA engine,
it's your imagination,
etc. Yeah. The other game I've been playing is when I was in Japan, I learned about this number puzzle game they have called Seppuku. So I've been playing a lot of that. I bought some of the books. No, I'm talking about Sudoku. Do you guys ever play Sudoku?
Yeah.
No, my brain cannot comprehend it. It's like if people have explained it to me, my dad loves Sudoku. No.
You didn't take the right brand of Tylenol.
I cannot describe. Yeah, it was too much. My mom took too much Tylenol. That should make me better at it. Yeah, it's like my mind just becomes like radio static when I look at Sudoku.
I get that. I get that. Will, how about you, Will?
I like Sudoku. I can handle Sudoku.
I did not like Sudoku for a long time, and then I got into Picross, and the problem is I've gotten very good at Picross. I've gotten very good at Konami's Pixel Puzzle. And so the problem is now it's boring. Like I'm too good at it now. Like I've got all the strategies and everything. So I was like, okay, let me give Sudoku a shot. And the main reason why, there were 2 reasons. One was we were at Daiso, which is one of the 70-cent stores, and I posted in the Discord. They had the Sudoku book, but instead of just being one 9x9 square, it's multiple 9x9 squares like connected. And it folds out. And I don't think I took a picture of it, but one of them, the final boss of that book, is literally like 5 feet wide. It's like, it's just all these squares. It just keeps going and going and going. So it turned out that was fantastic on the trip, because it's like, you know, you're a little bit jet lagged. You wake up at 5 a.m. You're not doing anything. So it's like, all right, well, let me just sit here and, you know, Sudoku for 30 minutes. End of the day, let me relax. I'm on the plane. Let me do 30 minutes of Sudoku, you know? So I've been getting into it, and it's fun to get into it and uncover some of the new strategies, how I would solve it, but also look up some of the strategies online, like X-ray and hidden pairs and things like that. And I'm really enjoying it. Turns out Sudoku's good. Who knew?
It's very good.
I will just say, I feel like at least Will, you would appreciate this. When I got the Sudoku book, I was like, oh, to do this, I really need a pencil. And then I was like, oh, that gives me the perfect excuse, because I'm in Japan, to buy that sweet ass Japanese mechanical pencil that rotates the lead as you write, so you don't have to keep clicking it. Like as you're writing, it's constantly advancing the lead. And I actually bought 2 of them, and they work. They fucking work. It's magical. It's a mechanical pencil that you never have to click. Like as you're writing, it just keeps going. It's amazing.
What if you enjoy the click?
Uh-oh.
Fuck you, Jake. How about that? Oh, Will's dead. Bye, Will. Yes, not to go backwards into Japan real quick, but if you love stationery, holy shit, they love stationery in Japan. They've got so much good shit. It's fantastic there.
Did I show you guys my sweet mechanical pencil? that is oh god. My
Is it
uncle,
metal?
when he passed away, I got a bunch of lead or graphite, and I like reverse engineered or not reverse engineered, like looked up the pencil that it's supposed to be. That's the wrong way on the. How do you focus the camera? There we go.
There you go. You got it.
That's the wrong way. And it's got these leads just like it's like the full pieces go into them.
Oh
And
yeah,
so
it's
I
like
broke it.
1.5. Yeah,
And I was like, oh shit, like how do I sharpen the lead? Like how do I do it? And it turns out
in the end,
the
yeah.
end unscrews and then you put it into it to sharpen the pencil. And it's so
Yeah.
cool.
I've got one
it
in the
kinda blew my mind.
garage like that because I use it as like a carpenter's pencil, and it's like a carpenter's mechanical pencil with thick lead and then the sharpener in the back.
Yeah.
It's great.
So I have a huge, I mean, it's like regular pencil lead, but I have just like a huge box of all this graphite for this one pencil.
Gotcha.
So I've been trying to use it a lot. But that's exciting. I like that.
Yeah. So Sudoku, it's fun. The other game that I've been playing a lot lately is called Mega Bonk. Have you guys heard of this game? It's kind of blowing up on Steam the last couple days.
Just a
Let
little
me
bit.
take a look.
This is basically 3D Vampire Survivors. So it is an auto shooter survival, but it's 3D. So you're moving around in an environment and jumping around a lot. I don't know. It's hard. It's going to be hard for me to talk about this game because I don't think this game does anything wrong. It doesn't do anything bad. I think the only thing is that it's a bit thin right now. I think it's only on sale for $9, but there's basically only like 2 levels and maybe 20 characters. So it's a little bit thin at launch, but at the same time, it is pretty much Vampire Survivors and it's scratching that itch a
Does
lot.
look almost exactly like Vampire Survivors except in 3D.
Yeah. And so it's one of those where it's like, hey, if you're desperate to play one of these games and you want to scratch that itch, go ahead and play this. It will scratch that itch, but it's like 9/10 of the way to Vampire Survivor. It's got some areas where it's not quite doing it as well. And honestly, the transition to 3D, there's only 1 or 2 times where it feels like that transition to 3D has been worth it. And just as an example, one of the characters is a skeleton on a skateboard. And the way his character works is that as he lives, I think like every minute that he lives, he gets faster. His movement speed gets faster. The faster he goes, the more damage he deals. But every time he gets hit, his movement bonus gets cut in half.
Damn.
And then there's also some upgrades where it's like, hey, if you have a jump, but then they can be like, hey, here's an upgrade to make you jump higher, or a double jump or a triple jump. And then there's another upgrade that's like, hey, if you're in the air, you do you do double damage when you're in the air. So like that's the only time where like it being in 3D versus 2D like kind of opened something up for me where I was like, oh, this guy's going super fast. Let me jump through the air. And as I'm in the air, I'm doing double damage because of all these upgrades and everything. The rest of the time, it really does just feel like you are playing pretty much a 2D game that has that where they've slapped some hills down and given you a 3D control of the camera, you know? So it's 9/10 of the way. It scratches the same itch, but it doesn't quite feel as euphoric as Vampire Survivors, and it doesn't quite have, I don't want to say as much content, but the other thing is that the game starts out by locking you to only having 2 weapons. And I've played maybe 4 or 5 hours of it, and I just got the unlock that lets you have more than 2 weapons, which is weird because Vampire Survivors is like 8 weapons. It's like 6 or 8 weapons. So you end up like
synergize with each other and upgrade.
Yeah.
And
So these do synergize, but it's just weird for the first 4 or 5 hours of a game to be like, no, you can only have 2 weapons. Like it's like it's dialing back the chaos when I'm like, no, I want more of the chaos.
Let's go nuts. Yeah.
Yeah. So this could turn out to be something incredible. And I had to look it up. It's not an early access. It's a full release, and it is only $9. But I almost want to say, hey, unless you really, really want to scratch that Vampire Survivors itch, yeah, probably hold off on this and see if they do enough to really deliver on it in the future. But yeah, I wanted to mention that because I have been playing it. I have wanted to scratch that itch, and it's popping off on Steam and social media a bit. But it's hard for me to give it a solid recommendation right now.
Gotcha. Well, folks, those are the games we're playing this week. If you want to check any of those out, rewind and, I don't know, listen to it again. Next up, we've got our discussion topic, which this week, surprise, surprise, in our series of the Game of the Years, the past 25 years, 24 years, 24 years, 5 years. How many years since 2000? We are on the year of 2015 of our Lord and Savior. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we did the best game of the year from 2001, the year that it was actually the year without Santa Claus, surprisingly.
I don't think anything happened that year.
Nothing that I can remember. Perhaps the Alamo. And we picked a game that I can't remember. Halo Combat Evolved for Game of the Year from 2001. I don't know if, Ian, did you update the sheet?
There is no sheet.
Or did you update the image?
Yes, the image is updated.
Oh, weird. It did not pull the update.
No, but you're pulling the wrong image.
Oh, am I?
I bet if you look at the file name, it says week 2. You're pulling from a specific. When I export the image, I'm exporting it week by week. We should offline set up where if you want me to constantly update the same image file, we can do that. We just need to set that up.
I was just pulling the Photoshop file because I figured that would.
No, because remember the Photoshop file's on pCloud, and we don't edit off pCloud because they fuck with the sync.
Oh.
So I'm editing locally and then exporting the JPEG to pCloud.
Oh, that seems like a
I
terrible
gotta find
idea.
this JPEG.
But what we should do is have your OBS point at a named JPEG on pCloud, and I will update that JPEG.
Yeah, or you could just save over you could save over a Photoshop file there. That's not the main one you're editing. That could work too. Just call it the same thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, 2001 was Halo Combat Evolved, 2004 was Half-Life 2, and 2008 was, or 2009, excuse me, was Minecraft, a game that's very popular. This week, 2015, folks, we have gathered them all up. Who wants to go first, or I can go first? I'll go first.
You go first.
Shout outs. My 2015 year of our Lord, 2015. Shout outs to Super Mario Maker, a fantastic video game that we played that and its sequel a lot here on Subpixel and got a lot of followers through that, which is very early on. It was mostly 2 though that or did we play 1 before 2 came out? I think as well.
We mostly did 2 because one's on the Wii U. Fuck that.
Oh, you're right. Also shout out to Bloodborne, one of the best Souls games that's ever come out. They should
arguably. No, Elden Ring's probably the best.
Elden Ring's probably the best.
Second.
Bloodborne, solid second. It's an incredible game. One of the ones I finished. I love Bloodborne. Dunkin' Donuts. Big shout out to Dunkin' Donuts. No, Darkest Dungeon came out in 2015. Big shout out to Darkest Dungeon. Jake, was that this year?
Yeah.
Damn.
It was like 3 months ago.
That's wild. Time is, man, when you're unemployed, time is forever. Darkest Dungeon's really great. I've been meaning to play more of it now that I understand how to play. Man, I've learned so much about tactical games in the past couple of years that I'm probably better at them now because of that. And then Ian mentioned it during his Japan thing, but just shout out to Boy Pussy 5. Ian just reminded me when he was talking about Boy Pussy 7 is that the fifth one.
It's probably the best of the series. Like, it's not as big as 6, but it's definitely juicier than 1 through 4.
And the element of exploration I preferred in that one.
There's a lot of nooks and crannies you really got to explore in that one.
Yeah.
How tight is the runtime?
It's real tight.
Plus the cabaret club you can run is really cool too.
I mean, it's kind of how long you can last. It's a run based.
But my game of the year for 2015 is, of course, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Some say the best Metal Gear game. Those people would be correct. It is a fantastic video game. I should say the best playing Metal Gear game. It is so good. It's so fun. I love Metal Gear Solid, and I'll be a nun. And that's my pick, Metal Gear Solid 5. Jake, you have one game written down, which I didn't realize came out this year. A game I still haven't finished, but I'm pretty sure I guessed the plot of one time with you. Please. Tell us.
When you said we were picking 2015, there was only one choice for me, and that is Frictional Games Soma. A game which just floored me when I played it for the first time. It was I think a late release. It was a September maybe. Oh, it's this month. This may be the 10th anniversary sometime around this time. Somebody let me know what day it specifically was.
I'll Google it.
September 22nd.
Fuck you.
3 days ago.
Fuck man, that's crazy.
I was Googling it. Fuck you.
I played it in 2 sittings. A weekend that my parents were... Huh?
2 babysittings?
No. My parents were off.
Your parents were away. They had a babysitter over for Jake.
For me, as a however old I was 10 years ago, 21. And then like they were gone, and my brother was off at school. He had just left for college, and so I was alone in the house, and I was playing this game, and it was incredible. Like I got to the credits roll, and it was like. It sounds like trite to be like, I just kind of sat there and like just let it sit with me for like 20 minutes. Soma, Frictional Games. Great game. My game of the year 2015.
Damn. Ian Gibson.
Yeah, when I was looking through the list of games that came out in 2015, there's a lot of great games on here. Kerbal Space Program. I don't know if you remember when it hit, but it kind of blew up immediately when it came out, even though it was still pretty bare bones, and it was, I don't want to say janky because that implies that it's no longer janky. It was the most janky it's ever been when it came out, and now it is slightly less janky, but it definitely was one of those things where people were like, oh fuck, this is scratching an itch. Like, this is awesome. This is a lot of fun. Rocket League. Do you guys remember when Rocket League hit? It was on PlayStation Plus at the time, and it just felt like, it's hard to describe, but it felt like it fell into like an esports video game sports niche that hadn't really been occupied since like NFL Blitz, NBA Jam, that type of thing. And it was, I don't know if I've told this story before, but when Rocket League came out, I think I was employed, but I barely had any money, and I saw all these people playing it and everybody being like, it's great. And I was like, is it really that great? And so I downloaded a pirated copy of it, and I played it for 3 minutes, and I quit the game. I uninstalled it, and then I went to Steam and I spent $20 on the real game. I was this is so fucking good. I need to give these people money now and keep playing it. Just a fantastic game. Splatoon. Holy shit. Splatoon is such a wild game because it's like, hey guys, Nintendo made a shooter. The last time they did that was Metroid Prime. And then the fact that it's like a family friendly shooter, because you are shooting other people, but it's more about painting the level, which is such a crazy premise. And that it's about squid people in like a post-apocalyptic future, like a post-apocalyptic far future. And somehow all of that comes together, and it has fantastic Miiverse integration with the Wii U and like a plaza where people are drawing 9/11 memes and boobs that pictures that hang over their head. Just crazy game to see come out of nowhere and to have it work so well. Undertale. I think Undertale is just like a very niche internet culture, internet humor thing. But it's more than that. It's not just like fan service. It's not just a particular type of humor. It's also a very interesting game because of how it's turning a lot of typical game mechanics on its head. and it's playing a lot with the genre where you're like, oh, this is a boss guy, and he's like, oh, all of a sudden he's going to do a whole dance scene during this whole boss fight. Just a very unique game, top to bottom. And then Witcher 3, probably the best game of 2015 that I've never really played. You guys ever played Witcher 3 or tried to play it?
I think my first CD Projekt Red game might have been Cyberpunk. I don't know if I've played any of their other works. Well, I played it after they fixed it.
Ugh,
No,
they didn't fix
that's
it.
not possible. They never
I'm so
fixed
sorry.
it.
Hate to tell you that.
It's still
That No
shit.
Man's Sky.
Yeah. What about you, Will?
I've tried Witcher 3 about 4 or 5 times. The farthest I've made it is like 15 hours. I can't do it.
Oh, that's far. Farthest I made it is an hour, and I've tried like 2 or 3 times.
I beat all of 1. I really like The Witcher 1, but that's because it's a good game.
Witcher 3 is one of those games where I know it's a great game. I know it does a lot of fantastic stuff, but I just keep bouncing off it. So I want to at least call it out here and say I know it's not a sub-pixel game. If you guys are big Witcher 3 fans, don't take it personally that is not going to be our Game of the Year pick.
Take it personally.
My Game of the Year pick is going to be it's going to be Mario Maker. And the reason why is Will, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm stabbing you in the back a little bit. Like, let's be honest, the Game of the Year is Metal Gear Solid 5, but because you picked that, it means that I get to pick what the other game is that gets a superlative, and I'm picking Mario Maker. Mario Maker is just such a crazy game because it's Nintendo, which tends to be more buttoned up and tends to be, I don't want to say super restrictive, but it's rare for them to let other studios touch their IP. It's rare for them to do crazy stuff with their IP. But for them to basically say, hey, we're going to create a game that lets the community make their own Mario levels and to provide like a pretty good UI for doing it and a UX that works really well because of the Wii U stylus. And then a community, like an online system that has its problems. It has its Nintendo wonk, but also is like, hey, we're going to share these levels and we're going to have, leaderboards, and we're going to have these levels. We have the most favorites. These levels have been added. These levels have never been beaten before. It's such a weird thing to do to your marquee IP. And I'm so glad they did it because it works really, really well. So that's my nominee for Game of the Year 2015.
Mario Maker. Okay.
Super Mario Maker.
Okay, our 3 nominees: Metal Gear Solid 5, Mario Maker, and Soma. Where are we starting? Who wants to make their case for Jake? You were part of the. Were you? No, you weren't part of the first one. The first one was David. Were you?
I was for 2009 when we.
You were okay. You were part of Minecraft. Okay, yeah. So you know the rules then. That the other 2 get superlatives. Whoever we pick just gets the Game of the Year, which really isn't that important. I don't know. Who wants to make a case for Game of the Year?
I mean,
well, I guess. Let me start with Jake. Have you played Metal Gear Solid 5?
I have not.
Oh,
okay.
This is another one where I have these huge gaps in my gamer credentials, where my first Kojima game was Death Stranding.
That's fair.
That's wild.
That's fair. I feel like we've already made our cases, though. I don't understand why we're remaking our cases.
Well, I mean, more of an argument of why yours should be Game of the Year more than anyone. Or do you want to just take a superlative?
I'm taking a superlative. I'm backing Metal Gear Solid 5. I'll echo a lot of the reasons that you've stated, Will. It feels fantastic. And it feels like I've not played all the Metal Gear Solid games, but it feels like the first time that Kojima was actually able to make a game where the story and weirdness and mechanics were equally matched by how well the game actually plays and feels and performs and looks. Like up to that point, Metal Gear Solid 1 through 4, he was making these games and they had fantastic ideas, but it was still kind of a pain in the ass to play them. Like it just always felt wonky playing those games. and 5 felt like the first time that he was finally able to kind of make them match. And it's such a great game that even the fact that it's unfinished in a way, and that it kind of, I don't want to say falls apart, but it starts to feel thin towards the end, doesn't really matter because you still have so much fun and so much enjoyment, and it's still such a unique experience all the way through.
Yeah, I would echo that. Like, it adds so many mechanics and like weird stuff and weird details that is synonymous with Kojima now with Death Stranding and Death Stranding 2, that like this was not the origin points of that, but this is where he got to fully express that and be like, here's your base, here's all the recruiting random people, plus on top of the fact that you're finally playing as Big Boss, and you're like the ultimate stealth machine, and just the stealth gameplay being peak, and the infinite sprint and all the quality of life stuff that just makes that game feel good and doesn't have any concessions with like, oh, it's Big Boss, he can just do this and do that, and Fulton people and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it just feels really good. And the story stuff that is there is very good and weird and fun and interesting to figure out. And the ending, despite so much stuff, like, it's still a complete story, but so much being missing from it, that ending still hits really hard, and you know exactly what's happening, and you're just like, oh shit, that's what's happening here. And with an incredible soundtrack as well. That's where all the needle drops for Kojima started, is Metal Gear Solid 5 for sure. Okay. I mean, unless Jake has any complaints, I'm gonna.
Well, no, I mean, I was actually gonna argue in favor of Mario Maker, but I will defer to Metal Gear.
Okay. Well then,
yeah, I think it's just as cool and weird as Mario Maker is, they did not support it well enough, and they did not implement it well enough, and they did not support the Wii U enough as a console. So it kind of pops in the moment, but it doesn't quite have the legacy or the impact to the industry, or the impact to like a creator or an IP like
really
Metal Gear Solid 5 has
on the Switch, to my memory.
And then 2 had a lot of issues too.
Yeah, two still had a wonky online system, and 2 didn't have a stylus because it wasn't on the Wii U. So it was actually a little bit harder to design.
Yeah,
on
and
the
honestly,
Switch too. On the Switch.
I also appreciate Soma, but if Jake had come in here, this isn't the right year, but with Amnesia, I think I'd be a lot more, because Amnesia birthed that genre of
Soma is a deeply
hidey
personal
games.
pick for me. I understand it's not.
Yeah. And if Soma was the first game, then all of that would be on Soma, because Soma's still incredible for the little I've played of it, having played surprisingly both Amnesia games, both at the time.
Now
there's a third one. There's
4.
There's the
Amnesia
Bunker.
Rebirth and Amnesia the Bunker.
Oh, I haven't. Did I play Rebirth? I don't think I played Rebirth.
Is the first one
Dark Descent?
Amnesia Machine for Pigs?
Machine for
Amnesia
Pigs is
the
2.
Dark Descent. Amnesia, a Machine for Pigs. Then I think Rebirth, and then the Bunker.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then the last one's Amnesia. It makes you forget.
They just release the first game again and pretend it's a new game.
Amnesia 1 and 2 scared the hell out of me, but I played those games with a physical audience in the room, and it was very fun because I was a little less scared.
Sound fun.
And got to like play it up. And Alt F4 a lot. Okay, so game of the year. I mean, unfortunately, guys, I'm gonna have to give it to Metal Gear Solid 5. Phantom Pain.
Well deserved.
Metal Gear Solid V, the Phantom Pain. We're still waiting on 5. We're still waiting on 5. What do we want? What do you guys want for your superlatives? You are allowed to come up with those.
I may need some help wordsmithing this one, but for Mario Maker, I think it should be something like best game for the criminally underrated Wii U, or criminally underappreciated Wii U.
Ooh, that's good. The best Wii U.
I want it to be like,
knew Wii U. We hardly knew.
No, that's
knew
terrible.
you. The hardly Wii
Best
U.
game. I'll figure it out.
Reggie Fils-Aimé's best Wii U game.
So yeah,
okay.
I should write it out.
You should write it out. Mario Maker for that, and then Soma. Jake, you want to read what Soma is?
Yes, I would be awarding it best game with a dangerously long elevator ride.
Oof.
I was trying to come up with some sort of Ocean Gate reference, but
Pop.
I don't know. None of they would all be too difficult or too cumbersome.
Or even like Sphere or The Abyss.
Sphere, the Abyss is pretty great until the last 10 minutes. Sphere is bad.
Sphere is bad. The book's okay, but the movie is
The
terrible.
book is okay. A middling Michael Crichton novel.
Yes. Not as good as State of Fear, obviously. His magnum opus in which he calls a journalist, tells the journalist that he's a small penis. Yep, I have the same copy. Oh man.
You know how many pages this is?
Is that the
Like
climate
800
change
pages.
one?
It's the climate change one.
Yes, it's the
where,
climate change one.
Climate
Yeah.
change is a huge conspiracy and not real. And
There's
I think it's the last
eco-terrorists
one of
who are
his that I
trying
read.
to. Which one?
done.
Which one?
State of Fear. I think when that came out, I was so excited. I read it, and then I was like, I'm fucking done.
Yeah,
This
they're like
sucks.
trying to trigger a tsunami.
is that his last book?
No,
No, not. I mean,
Last one I read.
what was his last? What he died 2010?
I think his last book might have been Next.
Oh, the monkey genetic one. That was pretty good.
Yeah, the gene splicing, gene
Prey
selling
was pretty good.
one. Prey was
He died
good.
in 2008.
And I think they've released 4 or 5 novels
posthumously.
posthumously.
Pirate Latitudes.
Pirate
was
Latitudes,
okay.
Micro,
Micro I've read as
Dragon
well.
Teeth,
Haven't read
and
Dragon
then
Teeth.
they just forced.
Andromeda Evolution.
I think that's one like where they're licensing his name, like Tom Clancy's estate does. I think that's
Oh,
a wholly different author.
Tom Clancy's dead. He hasn't been making Rainbow Six Siege.
And then they just he just co-authored. They found some unfinished manuscript that they gave to,
Patterson. James Patterson.
is it James Patterson? I was gonna
Yeah,
say
I'm
it's
reading
one of those
Wikipedia.
huge named.
I'm so glad I gave up on him because I'm looking at everything that's happened since, and it's just like they've been taking all this shit and doing whatever the fuck they want with it after
Dragon
he's dead.
Teeth is pretty good. I will say.
I mean, Ian and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. Timeline is one of my favorite books. I've read Timeline at least 5 times in my Timeline life.
I would say it's hard for me to say one of my favorites. It's definitely one of my. I wouldn't call it a guilty pleasure, but it's one of those like popcorn books.
Yeah, like a pop. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it's like the most eloquently written thing in the world, but it's just so good. And I know all the beats.
And the
movie
movie's
was
so bad.
sucked ass. Really did.
did.
Anyways, folks, Game of the Year
I would
2015.
recommend Dragon Teeth.
Dragon's teeth. I'll get my teeth clean just for a dragon to be in them. Dragon these teeth. Damn, he got it right here. Jake, you'll be excited now. I'm reading Heir of the Empire right now. I've read them before, but
He's on.
I'm rereading the Thrawn trilogy because I'm a little pervert and I love it. It's so good. They're on Kashyyyk now. There's so many good things in that game or in that book. Game of the Year, yeah. Metal Gear Solid 5. Best game for the underrated Wii U is Mario Maker 1, and best game with the dangerously long elevator ride is Soma. Soma these boobs.
Excuse me, can I get some of these boobs over here?
Some of these boobs.
We got all of the boobs in there.
Wait. How much does Jake like Soma? So much. He loves Soma.
That's pretty good.
Next segment, please.
Next segment, please. Folks, quick news hit for you. I just wanted to express my deepest sympathies to the rest of the Layton heads out here. That Professor Layton, The New World of Steam has been delayed until 2026. But have no fear, there's a great Tokyo Game Show trailer showing off all the new 3D environments, the puzzle UI, and all that shit. So go get your heat on.
Go get your
and go
slot.
look that
Oh,
up.
yeah.
It looks awesome. And then because Ian's trying to silence me like the White House, Doug Bowser's retiring, and I thought I'd mention that here. 2026.
Can I ask you a question?
No.
Is that this?
Nope.
Genuine question here.
No question.
Is that
Answer.
newsworthy because
Daily
I
Double.
cannot attribute a single thing to Bowser. Like the most I can do is be like, oh, these things happened
kidnapped
while
Princess
he
Peach.
was Nintendo of America. That's it. As opposed to like Reggie. Like it's not that he wasn't hands on. It's just hard for me to be like, oh, he's so good because he did X, Y, Z. I can't attribute anything to him.
Okay, I can't either.
Am I missing something?
No, I'm just mentioning it's a rather large piece of news.
Okay.
Anyways,
I'm
that's it.
Just
Do you have a
genuinely
content?
like. No, literally, this is not about the news. I'm just like, I keep seeing people on Twitter be like, "Oh, Bowser's leaving. Oh, Bowser's," and I'm like, so what? Like, what does that? What does that mean? What is gone?
It's the same newsworthy if Tim Cook retired. I have no idea what Tim Cook's done for Apple.
because
Tim Apple.
yeah, he does a lot of product first. He's
well, how do
he
I know
gave
that? I don't
would be a
follow it.
wave,
He gave that
of
gold
different.
trophy to Trump.
Yeah, it would be. Maybe they're not going to kowtow to the
took the
Trump
FIFA
administration
award.
as much. Maybe they'll back away. Maybe they'll go back to good product design like they used to have an actual proper hardware iterations. See, but I can say that because I follow that, and we follow video game news, so therefore we should be able to say something about Bowser. But it's kind of weird to me that we can't say anything. You know what I mean?
He probably brought some value to the shareholders.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just saying, like think about Iwata.
What did
right?
Reggie do?
He brought Kirby, championed the 3DS.
He made his body ready.
Yeah, Reggie, led the push for Nintendo Directs, especially in the U.S. and kind of, the family-friendly front of Nintendo post GameCube. Miyamoto, just a weird little Mario Zelda freak.
Yeah, but
Nintendo typically does a good job of propping up their executives and giving them a personality and some ownership on stuff, at least public facing. And with Bowser, and again, this is not a criticism, I'm just sitting here being like, what's the diff with him gone? Just feels like he never really stuck out in that role. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I still think it's newsworthy. It's like
That's not my argument. I'm not arguing about that. I'm just
well, clearly
it's hard
you
for
deleted
me
it
to
from the
think
news.
about Bowser's legacy because I have zero context for what
Read
what
a book.
can be attributed to him.
Read a Wikipedia.
Is there a
page.
book? There's probably not a book about Bowser.
There's a
You
new
think
one. It's
on his
coming out right now.
Wikipedia?
It's called Doug Bowser in your peach.
I'm literally gonna look this up right now.
Stealing Your Princess, the Doug Bowser story. I bet that'll be what it is. I hope he writes it.
He's been
I
there
can't-
since 2019, April of 2019.
I was gonna say
he's
it's
been
like less than 10 years.
6.5 years. It's that 6 years is longer than I remember.
How long was Reggie there for?
I
A long time. 12, 15?
How is Fizame not highlighted? Oh, it's highlighted earlier in the article. Okay, here we go. He's been in Fizame was in Nintendo. He joined December of 2003, and then actually I can't find an exact date on when he was.
Nintendo America CEO? CEO? President?
Yeah. No, but literally the Wikipedia just talks about how it's funny that his surname is Bowser.
And that's funny. And if
And
that's all he did,
They said, look,
I'm proud.
he said he joined in April 2019, and then there's a paragraph about how he shares the same name and a quote from him saying, "I think it's funny. I'm not bothered by the joke at all." And then the next paragraph is Bowser will be stepping down on December 31st, 2025. The man, I don't know what he's done. It's just weird.
He oversaw a
you
great
know?
Switch 2 launch in the United States.
Did he oversee it though?
I mean, he's the
just
president of Nintendo of America.
I don't mean to shit on this guy. It's just
Yeah.
like as
disgusting.
we follow this, we follow the industry closely. We comment on it, and it's just wild to me that we've been able to grasp and say things about all the other Nintendo executives. But when it comes to somebody who's been there for 6.5 years and has the last name of Bowser for some reason, nothing else stuck, and we can't say anything.
Yeah, that's true. But
Wild.
to be fair, we have time to have learned things about everyone else. Like, it could come out in a couple of years, like one crazy story that Doug Bowser did to keep some game staying out or something like
That's
that. I'm not
true.
saying that's gonna happen. He could be a wet blanket of a president. But
Hey, maybe he's the one that held back everybody's 1-2 switch for 2 years, even though it was finished.
yeah, he wanted to finish.
That was a
it.
good call.
That was a good call.
That was a good call.
That was a great call. Speaking of great calls, I've got a wish list spotlight here, which I got this from the Nextlander Planorama. I think this is where they mentioned it. I don't remember now. It's called Densha Attack. And it's basically you drive Japanese trains and level them up and attack things with them. And it's on rails, and it looks really cool.
Dual rail drifting?
Dual rail drifting. It kind of looks like that drifting car game that I can't think of right now that is out on Steam that I own. I know it's so vague, but this game looks really cool. Densha Attack.
Parking garage rally.
Yeah, it's something like
Oh
that.
yeah, that looks good.
So Densha Attack, that's over on Steam. We were talking about trains, and I was like, oh, this is the perfect time to bring this up, especially subway trains and Japanese subway trains.
I found out when I was in Japan that there was a 1-season anime called, I don't know, some
trains.
bullshit. it was literally, it was like a combination of Gundam, Power Rangers, and the bullet trains, the Shinkansen, and basically they would have the Shinkansen transform into like mecha.
Well, these trains just became a
little boy would
Voltron
pilot
in the
them.
trailer for this game.
Yeah, similar to that. There was a whole anime season of just where it's transforming bullet trains, and they had a whole exhibit for it. They wanted it to be awesome, and it got canceled after a season because it wasn't good.
Those bastards. That's great.
What Michael Bay needs to do for his next Transformers movie, because they're bringing him back. We haven't had any transforming trains, I don't think.
Where's Drake when you need him?
Yeah.
Tell us about all the trains.
Yeah.
Oh, legit clip this. We'll get confirmation.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to workshop some sort of trains transformation joke, but I couldn't quite.
Jesus
I couldn't,
Christ.
like Transformers trains. I don't know. I couldn't.
Oh God.
I couldn't come up with it. I'm so sorry,
Trains
folks. Trains right.
I was gonna say if they have like the bullet train and Transformers, it's gonna have like
A gun.
it's gonna have like slanted windows and a really racist accent because that's how Michael Bay treats all his characters.
The conical front of the train is just gonna hang down.
No, it has to have the
Yeah.
voice of the train, like the over, like the announcer voice.
Oh yeah.
We gotta make sure. Isn't that there's a whole documentary on that like British lady who does the Shinkansen?
Yes. Yeah. One of the gachapon I got, it's just a little tiny plastic box and has a button on it, and when you press it, it plays like a 15-minute segment of what they play on the Shinkansen when they're like, this is the so-and-so Shinkansen, the next stop is this train will stop at blank blank blank, but it's all in Japanese, and it was such a good gachapon to get.
That's awesome. I'm so excited for you and the millions you've given the gachapon industry. Folks, I'm going to hit the outro button because we're leaving. I'm getting out of here. It's way past my bedtime. I've got a date with Admiral Thrawn, Grand Admiral Thrawn, Luke Skywalker, Leia, Chewbacca, Rara, I think is their name, Commander Phalia, and all sorts of cool people from the Star Wars universe. Captain Pelion and the Chimera. God, it's so good. We'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. is our watch party over on our Discord. We will be watching the 1997 film Rocket Man, a movie I've seen probably 100 times, but I haven't seen it since I was like 8 or 9. We watched it a lot, and I remember it being very funny, and I'm looking forward to watching it. Jake Terrio was here, Ian Gibson was here, I'm Will Crosby. Subpixelfilms.com is where you can find all of our sweet content. And we will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.